The Superior General of the Vatican II sect's, quote, Jesuits, said in a May 31st interview with a Spanish paper that Satan is a symbolic figure who doesn't really exist. He stated, quote, "We have created symbolic figures such as the devil in order to express the reality of evil. When asked if he believes evil is a process of human psychology or comes from a higher being," end quote. This is, of course, blatant and outrageous heresy. It is a defined dogma that the devil exists. The devil was created by God, naturally good, but became evil by his own doing. Notice how directly the apostate head of the Vatican II sect's, quote, Jesuits, contradicts the dogma proclaimed by Pope Innocent III at the Fourth Lateran Council. Pope Innocent III, the Fourth Lateran Council, 1215, quote, "The devil and other demons were created by God, naturally good, but they became evil by their own doing. Man, however, sinned at the prompting of the devil," end quote. So, the Church dogmatically teaches that the devil exists and was created by God naturally good, but became evil by his own doing. The apostate head of the Vatican II sect's fake Jesuits says that the devil does not exist, but is a concept created by man in order to express evil. What a striking rejection of dogma. He is a notorious heretic. He's not a Catholic. This is the man who leads the entire, quote, Jesuit order in the Vatican II sect. Think about that. Of course, as our material proves, the Vatican II sect is not the Catholic Church but the end-times counter-church, the prophesied whore of Babylon. It's a non-Catholic sect led by heretical anti-popes, and its religious orders are fake. Its religious orders aren't truly Catholic. The Vatican II sect doesn't have true Jesuits, and this man doesn't lead the Jesuits. But his statement is so revealing. It demonstrates once again, frankly, how stupid it is to obstinately hold that anti-Pope Francis is the Pope and that the Vatican II sect is the Catholic Church. By taking that position, you are saying that an apostate like this leader of the fake Jesuits, who denies the existence of the devil and other dogmas, is actually Catholic. You are professing communion with notorious heretics and a sect of heretics. You are saying that a man who claims to be Catholic can embrace any kind of heresy or position whatsoever, such as anti-Pope Francis agreeing with Martin Luther on justification and condemning efforts to convert people to Catholicism as illicit and remain in the Church and continue to profess the true faith. But that is false.
Non è lecito convincere della tua fede. Il proselitismo è il veleno più forte contro il cammino ecumenico. C'è un grosso peccato contro l'ecumenismo.
და არის ძალიან დიდი ცოდვა ეკუმენიზმის წინააღმდეგ.
Il proselitismo.
ამას ქვია პროზელიტიზმი.
Mai si deve fare proselitismo con gli ortodossi. Io credo che le intenzioni di Martin Lutero non erano sbagliate e oggi luterani e cattolici, protestanti tutti, siamo d'accordo sulla dottrina della giustificazione. Su questo punto tanto importante lui non aveva sbagliato.
The Church teaches that those who dissent from any authoritative Catholic teaching cease to be Catholic and are not members of the Catholic Church. They are outside the Church. It is heresy to say that a man who embraces notorious heresy, such as denying the existence of the devil, is a member of the Catholic Church. And that's why if we debated any defender of anti-Pope Francis or any non-sedevacantist, among many other things that would destroy their position, as soon as we started to talk about these kinds of people, the head of the fake Jesuits, Nancy Pelosi, Tim Kaine, etc., anyone of goodwill would see that their position is idiotic. Many of them would contradict themselves on whether they believe such people are Catholic, but it would be proven that everyone who obstinately accepts Francis as the Pope holds that a person who claims to be Catholic can embrace any kind of heresy whatsoever and blatantly deny dogma over and over again and be considered Catholic. And that is a demonic heresy. But it is a heresy obstinately peddled by wicked false traditionalists who keep people in communion with the end-times counter-church by falsely claiming that the notorious heretic anti-Pope Francis is a valid pope. The Vatican II sect's fake Jesuit order mocks the true Jesuit order of Catholic history and the great saints that came from it. Some of the greatest missionaries in church history, including St. Francis Xavier and St. Isaac Jogues, were Jesuits. The following is an interesting quote about events in North America around 1642. It relates how the great Jesuit St. Isaac Jogues and his fellow missionaries to the North American heathen not only believed in the existence of the devil, but directly encountered the devil's machinations and works in their missionary endeavors. Quote, "The deadliest obstacles the missionaries found to their efforts to Christianize the Hurons were the multitudinous forms of superstition, sorcery, and devil worship. Controlling and an essential part of this system of preternatural influences were the sorcerers. Almost all of them claimed a preternatural origin and boasted of being in communication with the spirits. The missionaries discovered that many of their practices were trickery and charlatanism, but attributed others to the direct intervention of the devil. The cabins and huts where they held their seances were oftentimes violently shaken. They themselves would stuff live coals into their mouths without being burned, or would thrust their arms into boiling water without being scalded. The rites and ceremonies they conducted were so indecent and revolting that they surpassed unaided human invention." End quote. Francis Talbot, Saint Among Savages, pages 116 to 117. For additional interesting quotes about the incredible trials, sacrifices, and successes of true Jesuit missionaries, as well as quotes from the lives of St. Francis Xavier and St. Isaac Jogues, who brought the gospel and the true faith of Jesus Christ to the far reaches of the world, see our book, Outside the Catholic Church, There is Absolutely No Salvation. Among other things, there are very interesting stories about how numerous people were kept alive just long enough to receive the sacrament of baptism.